I do believe is a very important statement about who we are as a nation, that we have just made a decision to put this extraordinary jurist on the highest court of our land. It's a good statement about who we are.
Ketanji Brown Jackson was confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court by the Senate today. She is the first black woman to sit on our nation's highest court. That was Vice President Kamala Harris, who spoke with reporters after leaving the Senate chambers. She, by the way, is the first woman, the first black American, and the first South Asian American to be elected vice president. President Joe Biden and his nominee watched the big moment together from the White House, and tomorrow they are expected to hold a ceremony to celebrate the vote. It was a bipartisan vote, with some Senate Republicans continuing to voice their opposition to her confirmation right up until the time of that historic vote.
I believe she will prove to be the furthest left of any justice to have ever served on the Supreme Court.
Thursday's Senate vote comes after Judge Jackson faced nearly 23 hours of questioning and nearly 100 face-to-face meetings with lawmakers over the past few weeks.
I'm the father of a young black girl. I know how much it means for Judge Jackson to have navigated the double jeopardy of racism and sexism to now stand in the glory of this moment.
The Harvard Law graduate and previous federal district court judge will also become the first former public defender to serve on the high court. Judge Jackson will replace Associate Justice Stephen Breyer, her former boss when she was a law clerk in his chambers. Justice Breyer retires at the end of the Supreme Court's current term. The Congressional Black Caucus released a statement praising Judge Jackson's confirmation, saying, quote, "We know that when America's boardrooms, legislatures, and even the Supreme Court start to resemble America, we all benefit," unquote. So how did our local lawmakers vote? Well, here are their roll call decisions on the newest Supreme Court nominee.
The question occurs on the nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson of the District of Columbia to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States.
Ms. Cantwell. Ms. Cantwell, aye. Mr. Crapo. Mr. Crapo, no. Mr. Daines. Mr. Daines, no. Mrs. Murray. Mrs. Murray, aye. Mr. Risch. Mr. Risch, no. Mr. Tester. Mr. Tester, aye.
So as you've just heard, both Washington senators voted yay, as well as Senator Jon Tester of Montana. Meanwhile, both Idaho senators voted no, as well as Senator Steve Daines of Montana. 3 Republicans voted in favor of Jackson's confirmation: Mitt Romney from Utah, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Susan Collins of Maine.